catching up with the best that Xbox has to offer here at E3, and one of the stars of the press conference earlier today, Ralph Fulton, creative director on Forza Horizon 2. Cat was let out of the bag a couple of weeks back. New Horizon, I guess it's a new festival that's on?
That's right, so the Horizon Festival has moved to the north of Italy, right in Tuscany. And we've created a vast open world around it, not just in Italy, but also in France. We have the south of France, Provence, the Côte d'Azur, an amazing part of the world, like incredibly beautiful, fantastic driving roads, really interesting and varied locations within it, and we've just created this truly open world for you to explore wherever you want.
So what was the process like when you try to find the perfect spot to place the second festival?
So we have this long list of criteria, right? So we're looking for great driving roads, stunning vistas, interesting variety, towns, cities, a long list of things. And basically we also have a research team that just looks at locations around the world and scores every location based on this criteria. So both the south of France and northern Italy came really close when we were scoring it for the first game. What we were able to do with Xbox One though is say, these countries are next to each other. What if we just throw the net over both of them and build our world across two countries? And that's what we've been able to do.
And of course, the beauty of it is that you get the sort of the Forza experience, but very different from Forza 5. So it's fine really to bring out less than a year after Forza 5. Doesn't really feel like you're competing with each other in that sense.
That's exactly the way we see it. I think actually this E3, you guys are seeing the true strength of Forza, right? Because I guess what not a lot of people understand is that there are two world-class teams working within Forza. So in Turn 10 over in Seattle, they have an amazing team with an amazing pedigree who have been making Forza games for decades, and we've always been huge admirers of them. And then over in the UK, we have Playground Games, of which I'm a part, and we also have a world-class team able to draw on a world-class pool of developers in the UK and in Europe. And we make a completely different experience, but like you say, within Forza. So it's still identifiably Forza. It has the same values, the same feel, but they're very different experiences.
Another thing as well that you can pull from and leverage is the engine that's already been sort of tried and tested on Xbox One, but you're adding a few things to it, like the weather and stuff like that. Is it like are you pushing the engine a little bit further than Turn 10 were able to do prior to the Xbox One launch?
Well, again, this comes back to we have two world-class teams of engineers. So a lot of our engineers actually helped out on the original Forza 5. They were there in that push to get that game out for launch and building that engine from the ground up specifically for Xbox One. What we've been able to do over the last couple of years is continue to build that engine, and Turn 10's engineers have helped us in doing that. Again, two teams pushing in the same direction and really, I think, showing our strength, allowing us to push harder and innovate more than we could on our own, right? So yeah, you're absolutely right. The graphics engine was a huge boost for us. It does image-based lighting, it does physically modeled materials. What we've done is, as you say, make them work in every time of day because we have a full day-night cycle. And also in every varied weather condition that our new system can create. And it can create near limitless visual variety. That's the great thing about it.
I guess the sort of the concept also lends itself to a different social experience. You talked a little bit about clubs and what that brings to it. Can you talk us through a little bit about that experience as well? Because it feels a little bit different than racing on the track in a very competitive way than what you're offering.
So you've hit the nail on the head there about one of the key differences, I guess, between motorsport and Horizon. Horizon is more laid back, it's more fun, it's not serious and competitive all the time. Sure, you can be competitive in races, but there's a huge aspect to it which is just about kicking back, just driving, just meeting people, right? So we have a vision for online in Horizon 2. It's a very next-gen vision. First of all, we want it to be instant, right? If you make the decision to play on Xbox Live, we don't want you to be sitting in a lobby. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be waiting. We want you to be able to push a button and without even stopping your car, without even slowing down, bam, you're in online. We sync the weather, we sync the traffic, we sync the time of day. You're just in online. It just works. So that's part one. And part two, I think you were hinting at, is our vision of a game which isn't just about beating people. It's about bringing people together, like actually building community. If you go to a festival in real life, like you always go with your friends, but you always meet new friends while you're there. I don't see why Horizon should be any different. And to that end, we've created some cool features that should enable that. Car meets is one. You rock up a car meet in your favorite car. You'll meet people there. You can chat with them. You can share tips on livery painting or tuning or whatever. You can race them. You can party up and go into an online road trip with them. And then clubs enables that on a much grander scale. So you can have up to 1,000 people in your club. So it's for bringing people together. It's allowing you to race together, to share together, to socialize together. And that's the all-up vision for Horizons Online.
So rather than, say, clubs that are competing against each other, it's more like a club where you're friends with people. And
you know what? The club is for whatever you want it to be for. We allow you to create a club and define it by some search terms. So that if I'm from Argentina and I'm into drifting, I can put Argentinian drifters in, and I'm going to find the club that's full of people just like me. And we could compete against each other, and there are ways for us to do that. Or we could just use it as a social club. It's a way to find people who want to do the things I want to. Hey, let's drift on Thursday night. No problem. I stick that on the notice board in the club section. I get people to come and do the things I want to do. That's the beauty of it.
Another thing that's kind of important as well is the music, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, obviously the festival element is key to it. That's one of the reasons we have music. More than that, it's about driving and music go together, right? I love to drive. I love to drive with music more. So I think we did a great job. More people tweet me about the music in Horizon than any other aspect of the game. So I think we did something right there. Our plan for Horizon is to do even more right. So same guy, Rob DeBank, is the curator of the soundtrack. He's back to pick the music. This time we have twice as many radio stations. We have twice as much music. So I really hope you're going to be playing, you're going to be listening to music that you love, but also discovering new music, because that's what Rob is great at. He's got his finger on the pulse. He's bringing bands I've never heard of, music I haven't heard of, but I guarantee by the time the game comes out, those artists will be breaking and they're going to be, the big news.
It's always a great sense when you actually discover a band through a game. That's the kind of thing that I really enjoy that. And I've done it a lot over the years. What I felt about, I think one of the things that struck me is the release date. You got really, you're talking about it now, you're coming out in September. Seems like a short window, but you've been working on it ever since Forza Horizon?
Absolutely, yeah. So the day we shipped Forza Horizon, we started thinking about what will the next one be, and you never start writing stuff down at that stage. You're still waiting to see what people think about the game, and they fed back as people do these days, and it's wonderful, right? I can go on social media, I can go on forums, I can read reviews, I can get all this information about how people relate to our game. And beyond that, we have a great team of designers at Playground who all have this really clear idea, not just of what Horizon is, but what it should mean on next gen, on Xbox One. So from that day forward, we're planning, we're trying out ideas, we're throwing ideas away, until we get to the feature set that you can start to see in the game today.
And the finish line is very close now. How do you feel about the state that the game is in now, the game that you're showing here at E3? You confident?
I feel great about it. So we have not only an incredibly talented team at Playground, an incredibly hard-working team. So I know while I'm swanning about out here at parties, they're back there, working really hard. And I don't trust anyone more than I trust them to bring this home to the quality that people expect from the team that created Horizon.
Thank you so much for your time.
Not at all. Thank you. Nice to meet you.